Hello there, everybody. My name is AB, and welcome to this week's episode of My Dirty Laundry Diary. It's been a while, a couple of months, I think. To be honest, I'm just not doing great, not doing well. But I'm trying. I finished up my program, which was incredible, and they actually offered me the opportunity to come back down for a little bit in the fall, so I've been thinking about that. I went to London, the United Kingdom, for a week, which was incredible and a wonderful opportunity. I got back home into my shitty little apartment in the shitty little town that I live in. And one of my cats got pretty sick. So, been dealing with that. And I got 3 jobs. So, as I am. The reason I'm recording this episode is because, one, I miss doing this, but I also had therapy this week on Thursday. I'm recording this Friday, so Thursday, the 20th of August. I had therapy. And while in my therapy session, I realized that not only did I have a bit of the naive notion doing this program that suddenly so many doors would open for me, but I also thought that suddenly my family, specifically like my mother and some of my siblings, I should say, and other family members, would realize how vital I am and treat me differently. Can you hear my one cat just like demolishing my couch right now? That's also a side note. I was getting serious there. Came back from New York City. That's where I was. I don't know if I ever said it because I was down there. Spoiler alert, I was in New York City. Couch destroyed. Gonna have to buy a new one whenever that happens. Unfortunate realization of adulthood. Couches are expensive. Mattresses, expensive. Any sort of anything that isn't a lawn chair and a beer cooler, expensive. And even now, those are getting a bit high. So, not the point. She's better. She's making ill-timed jokes again that aren't even that funny. I'm sitting in the dark on my living room floor recording this after I just worked a 9-hour shift. I know. But I realized that I thought that would happen. And it didn't. Spoiler alert, it didn't. And I always, as a child, whenever my mom got a new boyfriend, maybe this one will stick around and be my dad. And thankfully, she did have a boyfriend who I ended up calling dad and who was my father figure, but then he died. So I have been realizing both, like, that was real-time realization in the therapy session, which is just always so fun. Yesterday and today, that I will never be enough for them. And in turn, I make it so I am never enough for myself. I am going to cry during this episode. Fair warning, because I'm already getting teary-eyed thinking about it. I am doing fairly well for all that I've gone through in life and for my age. And it is not my fault that I went through the things that I went through. But it is my fault for letting myself feel so bad all the time. Because of other people. I got such lovely messages from classmates and instructors, and I couldn't believe them. And I realize I always ask my family for letters for Christmas and my birthday, and they never write them. They just buy me something, which is nice for them to spend money. I'm not trying to say I don't appreciate it. But I realized that I want those letters because, well, my father figure died in a car accident, and I was very abrupt and sudden, and at the time, him and my mom actually were not together. So I had no idea what he thought of me. But also, I struggle so much with the internal monologue of OCD that I need reassurance, but I don't want to constantly reach out for it. And so I could have these letters to remind me. And they never do it. Nobody does. And I have letters for everyone in my life. It started when my paternal grandpa died when I was 11/12. I wrote him a letter because I didn't get to say goodbye to him. So I always write letters to people, whether they pass or they're alive, just in case something happens to me or something happens to them and they need it. I don't want anyone in my life to think that I don't love them. And I have very recently realized it is because of how I was raised and what I heard as a kid or what I didn't hear. And I don't know how to swallow that pill. One of my classmates from my program said that I was very mother-like and I have a warmth about me. And I bring that up because before I went down to the program, I was saying to one of my very close friends how I was nervous because I don't think I'm very kind. And I didn't know if I'd make friends. I guess, in some kind of sick, sad way, in going through this whole journey of learning who I am with my mental illness, I actually don't really know much about how I am to other people or who I am. Because people say these wonderful things about me, and I don't hear them. And in the same way, I try so hard to be everything opposite of the people who hurt me. And then I get so frustrated when they stay the same. And it just really hurts. And I've made incredible progress in other things. Like, I used to struggle really bad with, I think it's called limerence, where, like, I would be very attached to anyone that showed, like, the slightest bit of romantic interest in me, and I would go 0 to 100 so quickly with them. And I recently actually downloaded Hinge. I've since deleted it. And I met a couple of people on there that I enjoyed, and I went on a date with one, and the date wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. It was very awkward, and I'm me, so of course I'm talking, and I'm loud, and I am the type of person where you can ask me anything, so I will tell you anything, and I don't really think it's weird. There's so many times in my life where I've said something where I'm like, oh, this funny thing happened to me, and they're like, hey, that's child abuse. So, like, I think that's just how I am, and I don't think I'm very unique for that. I think there's lots of people like that. But this individual just like gave me nothing to work with. There was no chemistry, there was no like instant click, there was no nothing. So, and that's fine, it happens. Wish nothing but goodness for that person. But a couple of years ago, I would have been devastated, or I would have like tried holding on for dear life to that person. So I've made great progress in that regard. But I also hear in the back of my head, someone at the time, this happened a couple of years ago, who I considered my best friend at that time, I found out said to a romantic interest of mine who was their very close friend that they didn't believe that I was capable of love because of my mental illness. And that is a very cruel thing to say, and I no longer am friends with that person. But I also do kind of believe them a little bit. Or I see their point / agree with them to some extent. Because I don't know love. I don't. I didn't get it from my parents. I still don't. I didn't really get it from other family. And so I don't know it. I know friend love. I have an abundance of friend love in my life. And I'm very grateful for that. But unfortunately, I'm realizing that for whatever reason, I was not enough to my family to receive that kind of love. And in turn, I sought out romantic love in people who were not going to give it to me. Like, quite literally, like, daddy issue stereotype. I mean, not to the extreme, but, like, I didn't get it growing up, so I sought it out in anyone and everyone. And I've been single, working on myself, and made great progress. And I went into this incredible program, and I came home, and everything was the same. My mom let my older sister, who has never had success with living anywhere and who makes the same mistakes constantly, every time, move into our childhood home. And I know that I will never see that house again. And I'm so mad about that. And my uncle died. My fucking uncle died. And this uncle was on my father's side. So I am not close with him. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not. May he rest in peace. I have many good memories with him as a child, but I'm not as an adult. Not close to him at all. And I found out through a Facebook post that they are having a private funeral for quote-unquote family. I was not invited. And a couple years ago, this is right before my psych ward stay, I found out that my aunt on my dad's side died. And nobody told me. Just nobody told me. So yeah. I guess really I just didn't want to talk. 'Cause everything's not the same, but everything's the same. And that's a very sobering thing to have to deal with. And I am not alone, but I am very, very lonely. So now my therapy team and I are going to work on my thoughts and being kinder to myself. It's just really painful and really hard. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Trying. Not doing great, but trying. And I hope that if you listen to this episode, thank you. Say kind words to yourself about yourself. Anything you can. Even if it's a, hey, your hair looks okay today. Unfortunately, when we're kids, what we hear outside or around us from people we look up to, like our parents or grandparents or people like that, it shapes and molds the inner voice that we hear. And nobody talks about how there is going to be a part of your adulthood where you spend changing that voice and what it says and that programming. You are not alone in this, even though it is very lonely and you are the only one in your brain. But you are not the only one going through that struggle, and I want you to know that. I hope that wherever you are and whenever you're listening to this, you know that you've got this. And you don't have to like your family. And you don't owe them shit. But you do owe yourself kindness and love. So please, take care of yourself and know that it'll be okay. I'm really, really proud of you. And I won't say I'll talk to you next week, but I might. I will talk to you again, whenever that is. Hopefully it is sooner rather than later. But right now I'm tired, so I'm gonna go to rest. And I hope that you have an incredible week ahead of you. I'm really proud of you. I'll talk to you soon.